C.W. Johnson Jr. here, folks. It is January 13th. For all you superstitious people out there, I'd like you to know that it is bad luck to be superstitious. I got my Saints shirt on this morning because I'm fixing to go into the gym, but I also hope they get to make it to the Super Bowl this year. So, go Saints! Who dat? Here's what I've been reading, watching, listening to this week. Sergeant Stubby, How a Stray Dog and His Best Friend Helped Win World War II and Stole the Heart of a Nation by Anne Bosom from National Geographic. It's basically, I listened to it about a month ago, and it's this really sweet story of this dog helping the soldiers survive World War One. And it's going to be a movie, Sergeant Stubby. I'll put the link below again because I really think we should promote stories about history that are aimed towards young people and children. So I recommend this book. Her writing is a little whimsical at times. You kind of want her to tell the story. So it flows very well on an audiobook. It's kind of hard to read on an actual book, but it's great. It's great for the type of story it is. It's great writing for that. I finished 12 Strong, the declassified story, true story of the Horse Soldiers by Doug Stanton from Simon & Schuster. This will be coming out next weekend. The Jerry Bruckheimer movie starring Chris Hemsworth. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Seeing a movie that honors our special forces. It has a good history of the special forces in here, and all of our troops who engaged in Operation Enduring Freedom and Iraqi Freedom in the Second Persian War and all of the wars going on in the Middle East right now that our soldiers are having to fight on the ground. So hopefully this movie will do very well at the theater, so we can have more movies that honor our American troops and heroes. Book I started this week is A Stolen Village, Baltimore and the Barbary Pirates by Des Ekin from O'Brien Press. Again, his writing style is a little whimsical at times. Like it says stuff like "Let us return" or "Imagine" or "Suppose," and he conjectures sometimes what happens to people, but based on actual documents what happened to other people. So there's a lot of interference. But he does a great job of chronicling the saga of the village of Baltimore, Ireland. It was the only village in Ireland it was the largest raid on a village in Ireland. There are several little small raids on the Great Britain Islands, but this raid on the village of Baltimore in Ireland was the largest one there that ever occurred, and a lot of these people were sold by the Barbary pirates into slavery in North Africa, and it would definitely it's an underrated story that doesn't get a lot of attention today. And he goes into a lot of history of the Barbary pirates and the slave trade in the 1600s and its effect upon Europeans at the time. So he goes into a lot of history of that. It would definitely make a great movie. I finished Never Seen Deader, that William Johnston book, I believe it was. He wrote it. It was, like I said, it took me a while to get into it, but when he finally got to the main plot, it was pretty interesting because it's about a rivalry between two mining companies, and you know how stories like that are usually reserved to in westerns, they're usually reserved to ranches and things like that. It took that whole land range war idea and applied it to mining companies versus each other. So we'll probably make a neat movie because it's an original idea. So once it got past the introductory, what usually happens, the standard introductory to characters in westerns, it was pretty interesting and a lot of riveting and a lot of gunfight and gunplay for those who really like westerns, like myself. So, listening, I finished that Selected Sorts from NPR. There was some of the stories were really funny and inspired my writing side. Other ones were kind of crass and crude. So there's a couple stories might want to fast forward. I had to fast forward to one because it got a little too graphic for me. I can't remember what it's called, but it was on the third CD. It was the first one on the third CD. The last story on there was actually pretty funny, called The Conversion of the Jews by Philip Roth. That one was funny. So I just started listening to Tom Clavin, Reckless. This is about a horse that helped the Marines tote their sails up to the mountaintop during the Korean War. 5th Marines. I just started listening to it. I listened to another book about Reckless last year by Robin, I can't remember her last name, right now, but I actually have a hard copy of that at my house right now to read, and I'll let you know more about it. But they want to make a movie out of this, and it'll definitely make a good movie. Hopefully PG-13, so a lot of the young people will come see it and learn about the Korean War and learn to honor our Korean veterans and talk to them before they are gone. Watching, I watched Wind River. It was from the same guy who wrote. It was directed and written by the same guy who wrote last year's Oscar-nominated Hell or High Water, modern-day western set on a Indian reservation, but not too preachy about the conditions of the reservations. Jeremy Renner did a great performance in it, very well paced. The gunfights were not for the weak of stomach, and the director definitely had a good idea of the subtlety of human emotions and actions and movement. So if you're looking for a good underrated movie that probably won't get any Oscar buzz but should, you should probably check out Wind River. I watched Drone, which won't get any Oscar nominations, even though the acting was really good in it, especially the kid. I forget his actor's name, but of course that's Sean Bean, and I won't give you a spoiler alert about that. What else did I watch? Oh, I watched a classic movie called The Wind of the Lion, about when Teddy Roosevelt, of course they overblew it a lot, but Teddy Roosevelt sent Marines to Morocco because some Americans had been captured. So it was a classic, epic movie. Sean Connery is a Bedouin leader of a Bedouin tribe. It was with a Scottish accent. It made me laugh every time he talked. It's a pretty epic, well-made film. I wish that director had made more movies because he had a really romantic side of history to him, and he really had a lot of cool literary devices in the story. So Wind in the Lion, that's a pretty classic movie. So you can check that one out too sometime. So I'm about to go into work, get out away from the sunrise. It's giving me a washout on my face, and these J.J. Abrams flares are getting on my nerves. So I want to go in there and I want to close the blinds so they don't shine on my face while I'm on the treadmill. That sun's very bright because it's very cold this morning. The earth is white. The earth is worried because its face is white with frost. So for C.W. Johnson Jr., hope y'all all have a great week. I'll see you again next week. Thank you. God bless and take care.